Yep, we are good. We are good. So good.
Hey.
Super good because I'm not back at school right now.
I know.
And apologies to those of you who are our community. Teachers are back at school this week, and we know the feeling. We have been there, but I got to tell you, when you get to that point in retirement, other than the Sunday night feeling, the pending August, I need to return, I'm going to be just so overwhelmed. Feeling is just completely gone. Gone. You don't even think about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know they're back because I happened to exercise with a school board member in the morning, and he reminded me that he'd be serving breakfast to teachers today.
That's right. That's what they do.
The school board thing. I don't know what was on the menu, but it was breakfast. That's what he told me.
Well, they used to do, a while ago, they did a wonderful egg bake.
Oh.
With like all kinds, and like toast.
Yum.
I mean, like French toast. I mean, it was really good.
I will say food is often the best part of our in-services.
Yes.
Or just it's a sad state.
The fact that you could even go out with your friends, your teaching friends, for an hour and just kind of catch up from the summer or whatever, just to get back into that mode is
because
nice.
You got to get back in the mode.
Because, I don't know.
And not just the teachers need to be back in the mode. Our families and our students have got to shift back into the mode. And that is our topic today, my friends.
That is.
Well, and take it with a grain of salt.
Segue, Joellen.
Thank you. I'm all about the segue. All about the segue. Anywho, we know there will always be exceptions. And we know that some of you may be listening to thinking about what if, or this situation, that situation. We know there's situations that happens, and we make exceptions for that. But take these as a general rule of thumb, because it's something that, especially at the beginning of the year, A, is so important, and B, there's just a few things that overwhelm us that don't need to overwhelm us.
Yeah.
So I want to address some of those.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you got?
So Joellen and I both took this from our own perspectives as pre-K, elementary, K-8 kind of perspective. I'm a 7-12 perspective. So both things can kind of apply, but there are some separate things, that will come into play.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some crossover.
Yeah, for sure. There should be.
Because a kid is a kid is a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes that age piece just doesn't matter.
No.
That maturity piece, that independent piece, or that responsibility piece.
That's true. That's true.
Got to start them young, folks.
Okay, so the first thing that I have on my list, these are like the do's and the don'ts, or I'm going to say the don't and then do. I don't know how you've got it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I put together a list, and the first thing on my list has to do with something that's happening in our district in a couple of days, and that is open house.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things that I mentioned is, please don't share everything about your kid at open house. It's well-intentioned. We know that, but we haven't really met your kid yet. And we want to know your kid before you tell us all the things. Now, I understand there are some things that we might need to know ahead of time. You could save that for an email. And I tell you that because you're not the only person that we're meeting and greeting. And so when you're telling me about your kid, I'm not going to remember all the things you just said. So save it for another time, maybe a more appropriate time. Plus a person just walking in, hearing all about your kids, what they need, if they need to sit in the front of the room or whatever, they shouldn't be sitting by this person, or whatever the thing is. There's no privacy in that. In that
is not the
event.
Format.
No, it's not. So just save it for another time. We appreciate that information, but we don't need to have that information on open house night.
And we may need to pause. I think I have a friend coming to drop off some materials.
Okay, all right. So
Unexpected.
we're gonna pause.
There we go.
For 1 second. All right, Joellen, what do you got?
So, reminded me of what you said, just to piggyback, and this is going to be a separate thing, but during the open house when Tony mentioned important things need to be shared in an email for that exact same reason. Transportation changes, medications, anything that you need us to remember, please do share that in email, because you are so right. I'm not going to remember that. As hard as I try, I will not remember that. It is a big night. It is an exciting night. There's a lot going on, and we talk to a lot of people. And at the elementary level, sometimes the entire family comes. We're talking grandma, grandpa, cousins. I mean, we've had the whole entourage show up, right? And it's a big night. So it's best to share the information that we absolutely have to know, any changes, in an email, so it is in writing, so we get it. So appreciate that. I know it's only August, and I know we're only starting back to school, but I'm already thinking about inclement weather.
Oh,
right?
Okay,
so let's start talking about it now, because plan ahead, folks, right? Every single year, it is the same thing. Parents, not all parents, but some parents freak out because there's an inclement weather day and they don't have a plan for their child, and the school shouldn't be calling school, and there's hardly any snow in my day, and blah, 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 blah. We live in Wisconsin. There are going to be inclement weather days. Inclement. What did I say?
Inclement.
No, I think I didn't say that, but that's okay because I just fixed it. And we actually live in a time where they're doing a little better job predicting what's going to happen with our weather. So we kind of know it's coming. Plus, you should just plan on having a day or two anyhow. And if you have a plan for that, my friends, it's going to take the stress off of you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Here's another one. Please don't vent about your teacher on social media. And with that, I'm going to just add another thing. Don't compare your child's teacher to any other teachers. So here's where this is coming from. I've seen and I've heard about parents venting on social media about my kid's teacher didn't have, a beautiful room, or didn't have things organized, when we came to open house, or when we met with them, or whatever. Or I heard that this teacher is really bad or hard or whatever. Please give your child's teacher a chance to teach your child. Hearing things from other people. Every teacher has their strengths.
Absolutely.
And you have to just give that time. Don't come in with any preconceived notions or some last minute, first impression views, because, everybody needs time to get acclimated to each other.
Absolutely.
So, and we are still learning the first weeks of school, months of school. We're getting to know what your kid needs and how your kid operates, so that we can get in sync with them and then deliver the message they need to get it in their way. So please don't prejudge, and please don't vent on social media. That doesn't do anyone good. No. Please give them a chance.
Well, it just fuels everything, right? Because typically there's no context with it. Right? There's, you don't have the whole story or the whole situation. And quite frankly, some of this, having the best room or the best decorations or the best theme, it's kind of been out of control. Kind of like that whole elf on a shelf thing, right?
Yeah, right.
Who does a better job? It's not even fun anymore, right? Teachers put their creativity in their classroom based on what the need is. And you might not know that for that given year, there might be a student who needs a classroom that is not so overly stimulating, right? And that really isn't your business. And it isn't something like, well, that's that context thing too, right? Or maybe that's not my priority the first week. My priority is making sure I am ready on day one to start my teaching when your child, and start building those relationships when your child shows up in my classroom. It doesn't mean I'm going to have everything ready. And speaking to the elementary, we stopped setting up our classroom how it was going to look on day one. Because guess what was happening, folks? Remember me mentioning that sometimes you come in with those entire families? Well, some of those families had little kids, and some of those little kids would literally destroy the classroom or dump all the toys or move things around that we didn't need moved around. And again, not trying to play the blame game here, but it was a real thing. We spent a lot of time getting that classroom set up. I don't have the time to reset it up because of what might have happened at an open house event. So there are plenty of reasons why the room might not look how you think it should look or how you're expecting it to look from day one, right? But along those same lines, there is a lot of information out there, folks. And there's a lot of different ways to get information. When I think back to when we were in elementary school, we got the note sent home, hard copy, and it was sent home with the oldest or only. That's how we did it back in the day. Not sure how you guys did it in your school, but it was, oldest and only, take this home to your families. Well, there's a lot of ways that we get information now. What I'm finding is fewer parents are reading that information because we are getting emails asking questions that were clearly laid out in an email or on the website or in another form of communication. So please take the time to read that information because if one parent is asking us a question, there's bound to be other parents, and that just takes time away from things that need to happen, right? we've already put a lot of time and effort into making sure that communication is clear as we can possibly make it. So please do take the time to read that information.
Here's another one. So please don't complain to a principal about something that you might have an issue with a teacher without contacting the teacher that you might have an issue with to begin with. So like a lot of jobs, a lot of things, chain of command is important. It's not like no teacher wants to be caught in an I gotcha moment.
Right.
And a lot, principals are busy, and it is better for you and your child if we can work things out together, just having a conversation, even if you send an email and you give that teacher some time to respond to that email. And if you can do it in a meeting or however you can do it, always talk to a teacher first. Don't just go right to the principal and do like a tattletale, I gotcha moment.
Or the superintendent.
Or the superintendent or anyone else in district office.
Your first contact should be your child's teacher.
Always be the
really,
teacher.
really should, because your child's teacher also knows what is going on. And it does nothing for your relationship or solving that problem if you're constantly going over your child's teacher's head because you think that's going to get better results, or you think that that teacher deserves to be told on, or whatever the case may be.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, because that doesn't do any good.
Yep.
No, it does not.
No.
So, transportation. This is a huge one. And this is a huge one, especially for the elementary level, because I think a lot of high schoolers are driving themselves, walking to school. But here's a little reminder. We are short-staffed. Not only are we short-staffed when it comes to educators and paraeducators and custodians and food service workers, anybody involved in the public school system, we're short-staffed. We desperately need more drivers. We are still looking for drivers to fill positions that will start next week. So keep that in mind. Our transportation departments are doing the best job that they can. Are they going to make mistakes? Probably. Is it intentionally trying to make your life more difficult? No. It's not. Imagine trying to schedule for hundreds of students. And sometimes these students have more than one drop-off location given on any given day, or they're picked up but not dropped off, or on this day we go to this place and on this day we go to this place. And then sometimes that changes without a lot of notice, but we still expect those changes to be implemented immediately. These routes are super challenging. They are super challenging to create. They are super challenging to change, and we are dealing with changes right up until day one. Those first few weeks, as your driver gets to know those routes, they're probably going to be late, right? You can help out with that by being on time, by being ready for when the bus shows up to pick up your child, and by making that goodbye quick, loving, but on the bus. Because if you think about it, the more parents that either are not on time or not getting their child right in the bus, that is also going to lead to delays that frustrates everyone. And then it leads to delays in arriving to school. But back to my original point, please give the transportation department some grace the first 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to take some time for them to get the routes down. And then once they do get the routes down, they're bound to change. And there will be times when they don't have enough drivers. There will be times when the driver has to change a route and get to know a new route, right? And along those same lines, there are policies around which students qualify for transportation and which students do not. For some students, it's part of an IEP team decision, which really isn't anybody's business. For other students, it might be a boundary issue. And my friends, there has to be a boundary. You might not like it. You might live on the wrong side. You might not like where your pickup location is. But these things aren't decided willy-nilly. There's a lot of intention behind where can we safely pick up and drop off students. Okay? So do your part to make that easier, right? Give them grace.
Very good.
It's a rough one.
Well, yeah. And it changes with the weather too.
It does.
So there's so much that goes into transportation. And, we as teachers, we often hear there's a whatever bus is coming late. Don't do attendance until after that. So that is very important. Okay. So please don't call or email your child's teacher after school hours. No. Some people feel like it's okay, especially if there's an issue. we talked about this a little bit before, but if there's an issue or there's something going on, you can always schedule your email, within Gmail, you can schedule when that teacher gets that message. Don't send it after school hours. Don't call them. Don't message them through social media. When we are done with school, we have our own families, we have our own life, we have our own things. So we are not responding, and nor should we, nor should you expect that. So please keep in mind that we are family people, and we have lives outside of our school.
Well, and it's just professional respect.
It is.
I am not working during my non-contract hours. And this whole, back when I first started teaching, we didn't have email. So the only way to get a hold of your teacher, sometimes we didn't have phones in our classrooms. So you had to call the office first. So there were not these disruptions. It was not that handy to reach out to somebody and to communicate to somebody. So just because it is doesn't mean you should.
Yes.
And along those same lines, especially at the elementary level, if there is information that your teacher needs to have that you could not get to them before the student contact day, call the office and leave a message to ensure that we get that message, right? I don't have time during my instructional day to be checking my email. I don't often have time during my instructional day to check my voicemail. And I'm not talking just general pieces of information that you want me to have. We're talking changes in pickup or drop off. We're picking my kid up early, but I forgot to tell you. I forgot to send a note. I forgot this, or so-and-so's going home with someone. Call the office. We may have time to check that message over our lunch period. We may have time to check that message during our prep period, but don't assume that our prep period fits within that realm of when you have contacted us, right? I'm not going to check my email or pick up my phone during student instruction time. Not going to happen.
Right.
So if there are important messages you need your teacher to have that you did not prearrange, call the office. Not trying to make more work for the office, but that's one surefire way to avoid something getting mixed up or not happening, which it has happened, folks, right? I've held kids back when they were supposed to ride the bus. I've sent kids on the bus when they were supposed to be held back because I didn't know. Exactly.
So I'm going to piggyback on that, Joellen, because as a high school teacher and as a middle school teacher, please don't text your kids in school. No. Don't do that. And a lot of times kids will say, I got my mom just texted, I got a call. No, you don't. And I know parents are out there saying, well, I needed to let them know that they need to do this at the end of the day or whatever. Someone else is picking them up or whatever. Here's the thing. Back in the day, we called this office. Again, call the office. I myself was guilty of this for a short time when I was like, oh my God, why am I texting my kid?
It's convenience.
But here's the thing, right? You think of it. If I don't do it while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to forget and blah, blah, blah. But here's what I need to do, what you need to do. You think of it, call the office and say, hey, tell Max he has to, wait, or he has this appointment at 2:00 or, whatever that thing is. You don't need to text them. No. They do not need to have their phones in class. And if they are on and they say, yeah, but my mom's calling. No, you're not going to. You know what? You want to talk to your mom? When we have a minute, you can use my phone and you can call from my classroom. I mean, that's not convenient. No kid wants to do that. So please be mindful. Our instructional hours are so short that, and even if they're long, if they're in a lab or whatever they're doing, we don't want to be interrupted by a kid's phone or a kid being on a phone or all that. So always use the office, whether it's for a teacher or for a kid, use the office. Emergency preventative, or not. My friends, preventative. Yeah, let's be proactive about this and let's have everybody be successful, because you don't want to get into a thing with your teacher, your kid's teacher, or your kid be in a thing with the teacher, or instruction time is precious. It
is. And there are way too many disruptions.
There are way too many
disruptions that don't have to happen, right? It's just something that we've gotten used to, something we've come to expect without really talking about it. It's convenience, right? But we're going to be okay. There are other ways. We survived it.
We did. And your kids will too.
So this is going on way.
I know, but that was my last one.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, as an elementary school teacher, there's a couple more.
There's
So I'm going to
more?
go quickly. Well, foster that independence in your child.
Yeah.
They can do it. Make sure that you know the guidelines and policies in your district. Most districts have guidelines and policies, especially around illnesses, my friends. And that's another biggie. Please don't send your child to school ill, and please don't complain if you get a phone call asking you to pick up your child because they are ill, my friends. It is not okay. Again, that's one of those things you plan ahead for.
Yeah.
I get it. We are parents. We know the stress of that early morning vomiter, or that middle of the night vomiter, or that spiky fever that, okay, what am I going to do? I got to have coverage. I got to get to work, or who's going to stay home, whatever. Have a plan. Children cannot learn when they are not feeling well and they don't belong in the classroom, right? Help keep the spread of germs down to a minimum. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I could probably add a few more, but I think we covered the biggies.
I think we did.
We covered the biggies. So,
all right.
We appreciate you. Again, please know that we do understand there are exceptions. And we understand that. It's when we start ignoring them or taking advantage of the extra early drop-off or the extra late pickup or not following the guidelines or the routine around a pickup and drop-off line. Again, these things are created with intention, with the safety of your child in mind.
Right.
Be a helper.
Okay.
Your two tipsy teachers.
Signing off.